Why do you start strong every Monday and crash by Wednesday? Why does every system you build feel like it's designed for someone else's brain? Why does discipline feel like punishment, something you white-knuckle through, instead of something that just runs? Here's the truth. It's not your work ethic. It's not your personality. It's your blueprint. You've been handed a Western model of discipline. Grind harder. Wake up at 5 a.m. Suffer your way to success. And every time it falls apart, you blame yourself. But 51 million people in Korea quietly run on a completely different operating system. They're not grinding. They're not white-knuckling. And they're not failing every Wednesday. Today, you're getting their blueprint. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just running software that was never built for you. The habits you're about to learn don't require a personality transplant. They don't require a perfect morning. They require something much smaller, a shift in how you see the everyday moments you're already living through. 7 Korean concepts. Tiny in practice. Massive in effect. And by the end of this, you'll have one concrete thing you can try before you go to sleep tonight. Let's get into it. The first habit is called Ppalli-ppalli. Ppalli-ppalli means hurry, a built-in urgency that runs through Korean culture like a current. But not the kind where you rush and make mistakes and burn out by noon. In Korea, Ppalli-ppalli isn't stress, it's precision speed. It's the habit of deciding fast, starting fast, and adjusting as you move. It's why Korea went from a war-torn country in 1953 to a global tech powerhouse in one generation. That's not luck. That's a cultural operating system running at a different speed. Want to stop procrastinating on tasks you already know how to do? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, set a 2-minute rule with teeth. Any task that takes under 2 minutes gets done right now, not after coffee, not after you check your phone. The moment you feel resistance, that's the trigger to move faster, not slower. Train your nervous system to treat hesitation as the start gun, not a stop sign. Here's the thing. Ppalli-ppalli isn't about rushing. It's about removing the gap between deciding and doing. And that brings us to habit number 2. The second habit is called Nunchi. Nunchi means the subtle art of reading the room, picking up on emotional energy before it becomes visible. But not the kind where you walk on eggshells and spend all day managing other people's moods. In Korea, Nunchi is a skill as valued as intelligence. Children are taught it early. Adults practice it daily. It's the reason Korean workplaces, families, and social spaces run with a kind of fluid, unspoken efficiency that outsiders find almost impossible to explain. Studies suggest people with high emotional attunement are up to 40% more effective in collaborative environments, and Nunchi is exactly that, practiced as a daily reflex. Want to stop draining your energy on the wrong conversations, the wrong environments, the wrong moments to push? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, before your next difficult conversation or important meeting, spend 60 seconds just observing. Don't speak first. Read the energy in the room. Is it scattered? Tight? Defensive? Adjust your approach before you open your mouth. This one habit will save you more conflict and wasted effort than any communication framework you've ever bought. Here's the thing. Nunchi turns you into someone who moves through the world with less friction, not because you suppress yourself, but because you time yourself better. And that brings us to habit number 3. Don't skip ahead. Habit number 5 is the exact reason your discipline collapses the moment life gets hard, and it's the opposite of everything you've been told about staying motivated. The third habit is called banchan philosophy. Banchan means small side dishes, the array of little plates that arrive alongside every Korean meal. But not the kind where you think this is about eating habits. Not entirely. In Korea, no single dish carries the whole meal. Every element is small. Every element contributes. Together, they create something satisfying that no one dish could do alone. Studies show people who eat in smaller, varied portions report 35% higher meal satisfaction, not because they ate more, but because the experience was richer. The same principle scales beyond food. Want to stop overwhelming yourself with massive goals that collapse under their own weight? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, look at your biggest current goal. Now break it into 5 tinier banchan, 5 small supporting habits that each do one thing. Not one giant habit. 5 small ones. Run them in parallel. When one dish is off, the meal still works. When one habit breaks, the system survives. Here's why this works. Single-point systems are fragile. Multi-point systems are resilient. Korea has known this for centuries. And that brings us to habit number 4. The fourth habit is called chemian. Chemian means dignity, the quiet commitment to showing up in a way that honors who you are. But not the kind where it's about ego or impressing strangers or caring what people think. In Korea, Chemian is an internal compass. It's the reason a Korean shopkeeper sweeps their storefront every morning even when no one's watching. It's the reason a student studies even when the teacher isn't looking. It's quiet, private pride, and it is one of the most powerful self-regulation tools in existence. Research on identity-based motivation shows that people who act from a sense of who they are, not what they want to achieve, sustain behavior 60% longer than goal-focused individuals. Want to stop relying on motivation to keep you consistent? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, write one sentence, just one, that starts with "I am the kind of person who," and finish it with one small disciplined behavior. Not "I want to exercise." I am the kind of person who moves their body every day. Read it in the morning. That sentence is your Chemian. Protect it like it matters, because it does. Here's the truth. Discipline isn't built on goals. It's built on identity. Chemian figured that out before behavioral psychology had a name for it. And that brings us to habit number 5. The 5th habit is called Han. Han means a kind of deep, collective sorrow, grief that's been carried so long it becomes something else entirely, but not the kind where you weaponize your pain or perform your suffering to justify inaction. In Korea, Han is not wallowed in. It's transmuted. It's the cultural alchemy of turning what hurts into what drives. Korean history is marked by occupation, war, and hardship, and out of all of it came a civilization that builds, creates, and endures at a level that stuns the world. Han is why. It's the habit of letting difficulty inform you without consuming you. Want to stop letting setbacks kill your momentum? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, the next time something goes wrong, a failed attempt, a bad day, a broken streak, don't skip past it. Sit with it for exactly 5 minutes. Let it be real. Then ask yourself one question: what does this teach me that success never could? Write the answer down. That's Han in practice. Grief as data. Pain as curriculum. Here's the thing, the people who never stumble never build the kind of resilience that actually lasts. Han doesn't make you harder. It makes you deeper. And that brings us to habit number 6. The 6th habit is called Jeong. Jeong means deep emotional connection, the invisible bond that forms between people and things through time and shared experience. But not the kind where it's about being more social or texting your friends more often. In Korea, Jeong is the reason people return to the same restaurant for 20 years. The reason they keep the same handmade bowl from their grandmother. The reason relationships compound over time into something almost indescribable. Jeong is intentional attachment. And here's why this works for discipline specifically. Studies show that people who build emotional connection to their environments and rituals sustain habits 50% longer than those who treat their routines as purely functional. Want to stop feeling like your habits are cold obligations? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, pick one habit you're trying to build, and attach a ritual to it. Not a reward, a ritual. The same mug, the same playlist, the same 5-second pause before you begin. Over time, the ritual becomes the emotional signal. Your brain stops fighting the habit and starts anticipating it. That's Jeong at work. Here's the truth. You don't maintain habits through discipline alone. You maintain them through attachment. Make your habits feel like home. And that brings us to habit number 7. The 7th habit is called Jeong. Jeong means spontaneous joy, the ability to let yourself feel alive in the middle of ordinary moments. But not the kind where it's toxic positivity or forcing fake enthusiasm. In Korea, Jeong is the spark that makes hard things bearable. It's the reason Korean work culture, for all its intensity, is laced with shared meals and singing and unexpected laughter. It's not frivolous. It's fuel. Neuroscience confirms it. Positive emotional states during effort increase task persistence by up to 31% and improve long-term memory encoding of skills learned. Jeong isn't a break from the work. It is part of the work. Want to stop dreading the process of getting better? Here's exactly how to use this. So try this, find one moment in your existing routine that you currently tolerate, a commute, a workout, a task you push through, and inject one small thing that makes it genuinely enjoyable. Not a distraction. An enhancement. A podcast you love. A route you find beautiful. A game you play with the time. Jeong doesn't lower your standards. It makes your standards sustainable. Here's the thing. Discipline without joy is a countdown timer. Jeong keeps it from hitting 0. Let's bring it together. Ppalli-ppalli teaches you that hesitation is the real enemy, and speed is a habit, not a personality type. Nunchi gives you the ability to read your environment and move through it with less wasted energy. Banchan philosophy protects your system from single-point collapse by distributing your effort across small, sustainable pieces. Chemian roots your discipline in identity, not goals, so it survives the days when motivation disappears entirely. Han turns your failures into the kind of knowledge that success alone can never teach you. Jeong builds emotional attachment to your rituals, so your habits stop feeling like obligation and start feeling like home. And Hyung keeps the whole system alive, because joy isn't the opposite of discipline. It's what makes discipline last. Here's what all 7 of these habits have in common. None of them are about doing more. None of them are about grinding harder or sleeping less or optimizing your calendar down to the minute. Every single one is about relationship, your relationship to time, to people, to pain, to joy, to the small moments that most people rush past without noticing. Western discipline is often built on war with yourself. Push through, override, suppress, win. Korean discipline is built on something quieter. It's built on reading, feeling, attaching, transmuting. One approach treats you like a machine that needs to run harder. The other treats you like a person who needs to run smarter. You were never a machine. You were never meant to white-knuckle your way through your own life. The blueprint was always simpler than that. If this shifted how you think about discipline, hit subscribe, because this channel is where ancient wisdom meets the life you're actually trying to build. And let me know in the comments which habit you're trying first.